Yo, real quick, have you ever slammed the gas pedal in a BMW and thought, dang, how is this thing so smooth but still hits so hard? Because BMW engines don't just move cars, they talk. They rev different, pull different, and feel different. And that's not hype, that's engineering. Today we're breaking down exactly how a BMW engine works, what makes it special, and why BMW drivers are low-key obsessed with that ultimate driving machine, feel. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why BMW engines are built the way they are, and why they feel nothing like your average car engine. Alright, first things first. At the most basic level, a BMW engine works like any modern internal combustion engine. Air comes in, fuel mixes with that air. The spark plug lights it up, the explosion pushes the piston down, and boom, power is made. That part isn't special. What is special is how BMW controls every single step of that process with insane precision. BMW engines are all about balance, efficiency, and response, and everything starts with airflow. BMW designs their engines to breathe insanely well, meaning air moves smoothly and quickly into the cylinders without turbulence or restriction. More clean air equals better combustion, and better combustion equals more power with less wasted fuel. Now let's talk about the engine layout, because this is where BMW really separates itself from the pack. BMW is famous for its inline engines, especially inline-six engines. Instead of using a V-shape like many competitors, BMW lines the cylinders up in a straight row. This design is naturally balanced, which means fewer vibrations, smoother operation, and less stress on internal components. That's why BMW inline-six engines feel buttery smooth even at high RPMs. The crankshaft doesn't have to fight uneven forces, so the engine spins freely and effortlessly, almost like it wants to rev inside the engine block. Pistons move up and down inside cylinders with crazy precision. BMW pistons are lightweight but strong, often made from forged aluminum alloys to handle high pressure and heat. As the piston moves downward, it creates a vacuum that pulls air into the cylinder through the intake valves. BMW uses advanced valve timing systems to control exactly when those valves open and close, optimizing airflow based on speed, load, and driving conditions. This is where BMW's Valvetronic and VANOS systems come into play, and yeah, these systems are a big deal. VANOS is BMW's variable camshaft timing system. In simple terms, it adjusts when the intake and exhaust valves open and close. At low RPMs, the timing is set to improve torque and smoothness. At high RPMs, the timing shifts to allow more airflow and maximize horsepower. This means you get strong pull off the line and aggressive power up top, without sacrificing fuel efficiency. Valvetronic takes things even further by controlling how much the intake valves open, instead of relying mainly on the throttle plate. Less restriction means quicker response, smoother acceleration, and better gas mileage. Basically, BMW lets the engine breathe exactly how it wants, exactly when it needs to. Now let's get into fuel delivery, because BMW doesn't mess around here either. Modern BMW engines use direct fuel injection, which means fuel is sprayed directly into the combustion chamber at extremely high pressure. We're talking thousands of psi. This allows for precise fuel metering, better atomization, and more efficient combustion. The fuel mixes perfectly with the incoming air, creating a powerful but controlled explosion when the spark plug fires. This leads to better throttle response, higher compression ratios, and more power without knocking or pre-ignition. Speaking of spark, BMW ignition systems are tuned for performance and reliability. Each cylinder usually has its own ignition coil, delivering a strong, consistent spark exactly when it's needed. The engine control unit, or ECU, constantly monitors engine speed, temperature, air pressure, throttle position, and knock sensors to adjust ignition timing in real time. If conditions change, the engine adapts instantly. That's why BMW engines feel sharp and responsive no matter the weather or driving situation. Now let's talk turbocharging, because most modern BMW engines are turbocharged, and BMW does turbos differently. BMW uses what they call TwinPower Turbo technology, which doesn't always mean twin turbos. It often means a single turbo with a twin scroll design. This setup separates exhaust pulses from different cylinders, reducing turbo lag and improving response. The result is instant torque at low RPMs and strong power throughout the rev range. You step on the gas and the power is right there, no waiting. No drama. The turbocharger itself is powered by exhaust gases that would otherwise be wasted. Those gases spin a turbine, which compresses incoming air and forces it into the engine. More compressed air means more oxygen, and more oxygen means more power when fuel is added. BMW carefully controls boost pressure to keep the engine reliable while still delivering that signature punch. Intercoolers cool the compressed air before it enters the engine, increasing density and preventing heat-related power loss. Cooling is another area where BMW engines shine. Performance means heat, and heat is the enemy if you don't manage it right. BMW uses advanced cooling systems with electric water pumps, precision thermostats, and optimized coolant flow. These systems adjust cooling based on engine load instead of running at full blast all the time. This helps the engine warm up faster, reduce wear, and maintain optimal operating temperature during hard driving. Oil cooling is also critical, and BMW engines use high-capacity oil pumps and oil coolers to keep lubrication consistent, even under extreme conditions. Lubrication itself is a big deal in BMW engines. Oil doesn't just reduce friction, it helps cool components, clean internal parts, and maintain engine longevity. BMW designs oil passages to ensure every moving part gets exactly the right amount of oil. Some engines even use variable oil pumps that adjust pressure based on demand, reducing parasitic losses and improving efficiency. That's nerdy stuff, but it matters. Now let's talk about the brain of the whole operation, the ECU. BMW engine computers are insanely sophisticated. They control fuel injection, ignition timing, valve timing, boost pressure, throttle response, emission systems, and even how the engine sounds. Everything is mapped and optimized for performance, efficiency, and reliability. When you switch driving modes like Comfort, Sport, or Sport Plus, you're not just changing throttle sensitivity, you're changing how the entire engine behaves. The ECU adjusts multiple parameters to give you a completely different driving feel. One thing people always notice is how BMW engines sound. That's not an accident. BMW tunes intake and exhaust systems to enhance natural engine sound without relying on fake noise. The exhaust headers, catalytic converters, resonators, and mufflers are all engineered to balance performance, emissions, and tone. Some modern BMWs do use sound enhancement through the speakers, but the core engine sound is still very real and very BMW. Now let's hit reliability because people love to argue about BMW reliability online. The truth is BMW engines are high-performance machines, and they need proper maintenance. These engines are built with tight tolerances and advanced systems, which means they reward good care and punish neglect. Regular oil changes, proper fuel, and timely maintenance make a massive difference. When maintained correctly, BMW engines can run strong for hundreds of thousands of miles. Ignore maintenance, and things can get expensive fast. Another thing that makes BMW engines special is how they're designed to work with the chassis. BMW builds the car around the engine, not the other way around. Weight distribution, engine placement, and drivetrain layout all play a role. Most BMWs use a longitudinal engine layout with rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive bias toward the rear. This setup improves balance, handling, and driving feel. The engine isn't just making power, it's part of the driving experience. Let's also talk about efficiency, because BMW engines aren't just about speed. Features like start-stop systems, regenerative braking, and smart alternator control help reduce fuel consumption and emissions. The engine shuts off at stops, recovers energy during braking, and minimizes drag on the engine when possible. These systems work quietly in the background, improving efficiency without ruining the driving experience. Modern BMW engines are also built to meet strict emission standards without killing performance. Advanced catalytic converters, particulate filters, and precise fuel control help reduce harmful emissions while keeping power levels high. It's a balancing act, and BMW spends insane amounts of time and money getting it right. So when you put it all together, a BMW engine works by combining classic internal combustion principles with cutting-edge technology, precise engineering, and performance-focused design. It's not just about horsepower numbers. It's about how the power is delivered, how the engine responds, and how it makes you feel behind the wheel. That smooth pull, that instant response, that confident sound, that's the result of thousands of tiny engineering decisions working in harmony. And that's why BMW engines have such a loyal following. They're not perfect, they're not cheap, and they're not boring. They're built for people who actually enjoy driving. If you've ever wondered why BMW feels different, now you know. It starts under the hood. If you enjoyed this breakdown and learned something new, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into how cars really work, and drop a comment telling me your favorite BMW engine of all time. Trust me, that debate is about to get spicy.